In the 1950s, we saw the beginning of artificial intelligence with the creation of a model called perceptron. First, AI was trained to classify images as male or female, but now? It's being used for different measures.
They figured out a way to read minds.
Read our minds.
Mind reading.
And even read people's minds.
Mind reading?
Mind reading?
Yes, mind reading. Or actually the scientific term for it. Brain decoding. Brain decoding is the process of interpreting brain activity to infer thoughts or experiences. Imagine we want to determine if someone is thinking of the word cat or dog. First, we show them these words repeatedly and record their brain reactions. This creates a reference of brain patterns for cat and dog. Later, we could record new brain activity from the person and compare it to this reference to guess which word they're thinking of. If we want to decode all the existent words in the English language, collecting brain activity for each and every word would take way too long. A better method is to collect activity patterns for some words, and then use machine learning to predict activity patterns for the remaining words. And this is exactly what Jerry Tang and other scientists did in their article on speech decoding. The model was trained on functional MRI brain recordings of participants listening to 16 hours of speech data, with the goal of decoding words. Their results were not so bad. The decoder was able to get some words entirely right, like window and window, or drivers and drive cry. For other words, it was close but not quite right, like disappeared and stormed off. However, for some words, it was completely wrong. The authors claimed their study demonstrates how non-invasive imaging techniques, such as fMRI, could be used for the creation of brain-computer interfaces capable of brain decoding. BCIs could be used as communication devices for people who have lost the ability to speak or write. But to what extent can we trust this? Doesn't it sound a bit too promising? Let me explain. First, the model's performance. While it is true that some words were correctly decoded, most of them weren't, which can be dangerous if applied in everyday lives of some people. Second, this is hardly an everyday technique. Patients have to be put in MRI scanners for very long periods of time, which explains the very small number of participants in this study. Finally, this technique is also not versatile. A model that works on one person probably wouldn't work on another. The mapping between brain activity and speech semantics has to be established individually, because our brains do not fit well on each other at the level of voxels. Further studies might be needed to determine if an fMRI BCI is fit for such applications.